I also gave a talk recently, not to executives, but to 7-year-olds. My son goes to the school here at Columbia University, which is a very innovative new educational approach. And we talked about, ideas and about creative ideas. And I asked the children, what had you guys done? And they said, we had just written a poem. And I said, okay, let's come up with some crazy ideas on how you could do a great presentation on that poem. And one of the boys says, I wrote a poem on a cricket that burps. So I said, all right, so what do you think would be a really interesting presentation on that? And he said, well, maybe I should bring a cricket along. Now, that is not particularly creative. That's fairly obvious, right? But then the next boy says, well, maybe you should bring the cricket along, and while you sort of read that poem, we are all standing there and we are burping, okay? And then the girl next to it said, well, how about if we record what the cricket is doing, the sounds, and we have the sort of the chorus of burping children together with the sounds of the cricket. And it went on like this, and I'm not exaggerating. Literally, the ideas came up with a speed that I just gave them to you, literally within less than a minute. And they're not bad. And frankly, I've sometimes run workshops with executives for 5 hours, and nothing even similar came about. So it seems to me as children, we sort of have it. Okay, this not being inhibited, just doing sort of what we feel like, just blasting these ideas out there and then sort of running and going with it. So I really believe that big thinking is ultimately also a societal issue. I gave a talk in Hong Kong to the Hong Kong government. They want to turn themselves into a creative hub. Well, that means a lot for the education. And the education in Asia is very, very different from the education that you have in the United States. We may not be as good here with the math scores. But I think when it comes to creativity and marketing and these sorts of things, I think the US is leading.